Well, what is going on in the world and you said we touch on it and probably have so many questions that I want to ask you, and the Jeffrey Epstein. What is your take on that? Because I know if Morgan was here, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be down the rabbit hole. But okay, look, why is this a story? I mean, if you ask the average person, they say, well, all these girls and all this stuff. I said, yeah, of course, none of that should have happened, okay? But why is this a news story? I mean, I knew about this 10 years ago. 10 years ago. And all this stuff had already happened. And in finance, just so you know, this guy was not a hedge fund manager. I mean, no one that I know ever traded with him. Ever. And it's very uncommon. I mean, even if you if we were both hedge fund managers, we despise each other, we would still occasionally do business together because it's inevitable. I mean, you have these big trades that you do in the market, and there's only a certain number of players, and you kind of know what everybody's up to. And nobody knew any investors that he had. Nobody traded with him. He didn't maintain an office in the typical areas. He allegedly had an office in the islands, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, so basically, why did this become an issue now? Okay, and why did a media outrage? Well, why wasn't the media outrage 10, 15 years ago? I mean,
what do you think?
Well,
and how did he make his money?
Was it his money even? I mean, that's the question. Whose assets were these? I mean, it's, yeah. So okay, but let's look at what happened this weekend. I mean, it's really the MCC for people need to know that the MCC is the American Gulag. I mean, this is where people go. This is where they put people. Chapo. I've met one person that's been in there before. It's a guy named Martin Armstrong. I met this guy. He was in there for several years on contempt. He's a person longest held for civil contempt. And so he was held in there, and it's absolutely a horrific place. And so it's obvious that this is the typical way to get rid of someone. I mean, the guards weren't watching. The autopsies. They'll cremate the body next. I mean, it's a disappearing act, and so there's going to be things that you don't know always that in life. I mean, but I don't know. Something must have come up because he was quiet for years. He was quiet. He was away. He was in these other places. He wasn't in the news. He wasn't active. And all of a sudden, he had to go. And so this was a disposal. I mean, he had to go, and his plane was sold a week before he came back to Teterboro, and they arrested him. So he had something, and he had to go, and that's the way it goes.
That is your opinion.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.